You need water? Will. You need water?
Yes. Thank you.
We'll go ahead and continue with our post-race press conference. We're now joined by tonight's winner of the Firestone 600, Ed Carpenter, driving the number 20 Fuzzy Vodka, Ed Carpenter Racing Chevy. Your third career victory in the Verizon IndyCar Series, first at Texas Motor Speedway, second win of the season for Ed Carpenter Racing. You led 90 laps tonight. Coming off a disappointment at Indy, talk about this run and what it means for you and the organization.
It's just good to bounce back. I mean, nothing really totally makes up for a missed opportunity at the Speedway, but you know, at the same time, it always feels good to win, especially a place like this. You know, I've enjoyed coming to this racetrack for a long time, and you know, and appreciate the job that Eddie does here for our series and the drivers. So you know, this is a big win for us.
What is it about oval racing that brings the best out of you? Again, a win here at Texas. What is it? You had success here last year too.
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty fast here the past couple years. You know, I've always liked this place and ran okay. I just haven't had good luck here, to be honest. So it's nice to finally break through tonight. The team gave me a great car. They've been giving us great cars all year for myself and Mike. You know, so it's nice to be able to deliver. Just really proud of the whole team and the effort. You know, and proud to be able to represent Fuzzies and do a good job for them with how much they've supported us the past 2.5 years. So it's good for everyone involved.
George, talk about the win tonight. Again, what it means for your organization. 2 wins already on the season.
Well, I'm very proud of Ed, obviously, and this whole team led by Tim Broyles and Brett Schmidt and Matt Barnes. I mean, they're a great group of people, and you know, our plan this year was to be competitive. Every week we showed up at the racetrack, and this is a great win for Ed in 2014, and we think we can win more with Mike and Ed, and our intent was to show up this year prepared to contest every weekend and try to win the championship.
Go ahead and open it up for questions. Start with Chris.
Hey, Chris, Mike, behind the cameras. Just when that last caution came out, what was going through your mind?
Just, you know, on one hand I was nervous just because I wasn't sure what the right decision was for us to make. You know, I mean, it's hard to pit, but we were pretty far into our tires too, and you know, new tires are going to be strong. So, you know, I figured we'd stay out with that few laps left. I wasn't sure how many guys would pit. I knew some would, but you know, just fortunate there were 3 laps left, and we were able to get a good enough restart. Montoya stayed out on old tires. I think Dixon was behind him maybe. You know, opened up enough of a gap that the rest of the guys couldn't get close to me that had newer tires. So, you know, I'm guessing probably many more laps left than what we were going to have. We probably would have to have pit. It was a handful the last couple laps, but you know, you get in that position. You know, I gotta make sure I bring it home for the guys because they did such a good job all night. You know, with the changes on the car during the race, the pit stops. You know, I felt like it was our race to win.
Bruce Martin, FoxSports.com. And a lot of drivers that had frustrations from Indy were able to race them out last week at Detroit. You were up there on top of the pit box watching Mike Conway race. How comforting was it to get back in the wheel of the race car tonight and get back at it and kind of get beyond the frustrations that you felt in Indy?
I mean, it feels good. I mean, there's no denying the fact that I was really mad after Indy, and you know, it's not that I'm still mad at Hinch, but I'm still mad at the situation and that we lost an opportunity. So, you know, I want to try to win every session, every race that we go to, whether I'm driving or Mike's driving. So, you know, we're just going to try to keep the intensity up and try to keep fighting for wins. You know, the team's certainly capable and they give us cars. So, we just got to put it all together week in and week out.
Adam Tate, Tribute Racing. Juan Montoya was a little miffed about the restart, Ed. Could you walk us through it, how it was for you?
I figured he'd be miffed. I was kind of sick of him. He was lagging back, trying to lag back. So yeah, I slowed way down because he was lagging back. I didn't want him to get a jump on me. So I'm the leader of the race. You're not supposed to lag back. We talked about that at the drivers' meeting. So if he wants to talk to me about it, I'll be happy to. He ended up finishing 3rd anyway, right? Yeah. Doesn't matter.
And IndyCar's had a couple of swings at getting the aero package for this place right over the last few years. Will said before he thought it was perfect tonight. What was your take?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. You know, I mean, especially by the end of the race when it finally cooled off. You know, I thought the track was very racy, and the tires were degrading, but not as much as we'd seen in the past. You know, we had one tough stint early, but I liked it. You know, it's still really challenging. Yet we were able to go out and use multiple grooves pretty much the whole race, especially towards the end. So, you know, I thought IndyCar did a good job. I think Firestone did a great job with the tire. So, yeah, they always do.
We have a question on press box, and we'll come back in down here.
Yeah, this is Jerry Fraley of the Dallas Morning News. I'm just curious, with as good as Power was early, what did you do to keep your focus that you could reel him in at some point?
Well, I mean, he had most of the race. He had the benefit of clean air. You know, it seemed like throughout the race he would kind of get a bit of a lead, and then when he would get into lap traffic, the group would close in on him. So I felt like he was maybe struggling a little bit in dirty air. You know, that's when I was finally able to get by him, was in lap traffic. He got caught out by some guys, and we were able to time it right and get by him, and then kind of open up a little bit of a gap. So, you know, his car may have been a little bit quicker than ours, but I don't think it was as good as ours all around through a whole stint. And clean air and dirty air. So really happy for the guys.
We'll come back down here.
Ed, with one more lap, do you think Power would have gotten you?
I don't know. I don't know how big the gap was when I crossed the line. I was just trying to get every bit of speed out of my car as I could the last couple laps. You know, I felt okay about it after the first lap because, you know, I got a big enough gap on Montoya on the restart. Yeah, it's hard to say how many laps it would have taken for Will. You know, certainly new tires are a pretty big advantage when we're, you know, I don't know, about 30 some laps into mine. So, you know, they definitely drop off quite a bit right around the halfway point. So, certainly wouldn't have been able to hold them off much longer, but, you know, there were only 4 laps to go, 3 to go when we took the start. So the guys made the right call.
Bruce.
Tony, what Texas Motor Speedway has meant to this series, since '97 there's only been 2 tracks on the schedule that host a race every year, Indianapolis and Texas. How big a moment is this for you to get a victory at Texas, for what it's really meant to the current series as we know it?
Well, and until this year, Texas was the only one who had hosted 2 races in a year. But I always enjoy coming here for the same reasons Ed's mentioned. Eddie does a great job. You know, he is very much a part of the IndyCar series, the Indy Racing League, from its very beginning, and the track is very challenging. So it's a big kudos to this team for being able to be the best car this evening. You know, over the time the track has changed, it's got more difficult to come here and be good over the course of however many laps the race happens to be, and tonight was our longest, and this team did a great job. Ed did a great job, actually. A lot of the credit goes to him for managing the whole race. I wasn't sure. The strategy kind of kept changing. I wasn't sure where we were going to go, but we did have to pit early once, but that kind of just caused some other dominoes to fall, and it was a big win for us here at Texas, and I'm glad Ed finally was able to post a win here.
And you and Eddie Gossage looked like you were having a pretty good time in victory lane. What was that
Well,
like?
you know, I haven't seen Eddie very often when I come to the race. I've been to every race, but in the last 5 years, I've only run across him a couple of times, and I'm glad to see he's doing well. And I love Big Hoss, and we were just kind of sharing some ideas. He was giving me a hard time. I think Ed told him about an encounter I had with one of the Fort Worth's finest this afternoon, just trying to get back to the hotel, but it was nothing. We were just kind of joking and having a good time.
Ed, you go over half a year from Fontana to Indy. You're in contention at Indy. You come here, you win. How do you stay so sharp at ovals with such big gaps in between? What's the secret?
I don't think there is one. You know, I mean, I work hard all year round. You know, I train. I'm in the office and in the shop every day. Thanks, Will.
Good job, man.
You too.
Just like Montana, except.
yeah, where was I? But you know, I mean, what I said before Indy, you know, I mean, no one had run an oval since Fontana, and we tested as much as anyone. You know, we have full testing plate. I'll be testing twice this week. You know, so just because you're not in the car doesn't mean you can't be prepared. And you know, I'm engaged with the team every day. So I don't feel I'm missing anything. You know, I mean, I'd like to run more races always, but I'm happy to run the ones I am and want to make the most of it. And like I said earlier, every time we get in the car, you know, I feel like Mike and I both have a chance to win right now with the job the team's doing for us.
Chris. Ed, Chris Knight, catchlife.com again. I just wondered if you could talk about fuzzies. You guys made a decision in the offseason to bring Mike Conway aboard for the non-oval races. Mike was able to get you a win early on in the season. Now you've been able to get them a win on an oval. Just wondering what the impact that does for a sponsor like them that stood behind you.
I mean, I hope they're happy. You know, you can never speak for anyone else, but Stuart, one of our partners and partner in Fuzzies, is here somewhere. He hasn't been able to make it down. He was up in a condo in turn 2, so I'm sure they're having a good time tonight. So hopefully this is just one of many more to come.
Andrew Manis, racingnomics.com. Mr. Carpenter, your oval prowess over several years, no matter the car used, no matter the aero package, has shined despite never having driven for Andretti or Ganassi or Penske. Do you attribute any of that success to your experience in the U.S. Auto Club? And if so, what would you do to encourage more of those young men and women in those ranks to pursue a career in American open wheel racing?
I mean, I certainly think it did. You know, I mean, I learned a lot in all 3 divisions I ran there: midget, sprint cars, Silver Crown. It has changed a lot from when I ran there. You know, there was a lot of pavement races, a lot of dirt races in all 3 divisions, and there's no pavement sprint car races anymore, which I think is a travesty. You know, so I think they need to have some pavement races back on too. You know, I mean, the Silver Crown races were great for learning how to manage tires. You know, you're running 1 set of tires, 1 tank of fuel for 100 miles. You know, I think I learned more about, you know, patience and managing a car and dealing with something that's not perfect all the time in the Silver Crown races, and those have kind of all gone away as far as pavement racing goes. So, you know, I'd like to see them get more of a schedule like when I was there, and Casey Kane and Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart and those guys were there. It's just their schedules changed, and it's going to make it harder for those guys to go anywhere.
Any other questions?
Matt Weaver, OpenWheelNow.com, for both Ed and Tony. Everyone talks about the big 3 with Penske, Ganassi, and Andretti. So I'm curious, now that both you and your teammate have won a race this season, where do you see you guys ranking up against those 3? And is there a timetable in place to maybe find another driver or a primary driver who can go chase the Drivers' Championship?
I mean, we'd love to grow the team when we have the opportunity, but you know, at the same time, we want to be able to grow at our own pace and do it in a way that's going to allow us to continue to do things the way we're doing them now, which we feel like is working. So you know, I wouldn't trade any one person on our team for any other person up and down pit lane. You know, we've got a great group of people, and I think we're able to show that on track right now. So just like I keep saying, really proud of the whole team, the whole effort, the whole group. You know, it's a great team to be a part of. We have a lot of fun, and it's even more fun when you're winning.
Any other questions? Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.